Alrighty, let's do the next three together. So we're going to move from left to right again in each of our sections. So let's go from left to right in this section. Here I've got 4 pieces of data. So the middle piece is going to be halfway between my first 2 and my second 2. Let me just quickly show you what I mean by that. Do you remember when we were doing medians of data and we had like 4 pieces of data, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And if I want to find the median, I'd have to do halfway between in the middle there, and my median will be 2.5. That's the same sort of thing as we're doing now. We're finding halfway between the dots. Same sort of thing. So 4 dots, we're going to find halfway between the second and third dot. So first of all, this way, my most left one, the next most left one, the third most left, and the most right one, like moving across this way. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now you don't have to draw these small numbers if you don't want, but I feel like it helps us. So moving across this way, and somewhere between the second and third is where my line is going to be. And then let's move up this time. Let's move up the dependent variable, this axis here. And this is my bottom one. This is my second bottom one, third, and then 4. So moving from the bottom to the top, my middle ones are 2 and 3 here. So somewhere between 2 and 3, pretty much right on both dots. And then I've found my crosshair, so I'm going to put an X there. Same thing again, let's do our second lot. There's 4 here again, so somewhere between my left 2 and my right 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just moving across this way for the first one, so somewhere between those 2. And then from the bottom to the top, bottom, second, third, top. So bottom to the top, 1, 2, 3, somewhere between my second and my third. So I'm looking at that median idea still. Put my X in. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, halfway between number 2 and 3. And from bottom to top, 1, 2, 3, 4, halfway between my middle 2. And then, same thing as always, join the lines, and then if we need to, we'll move a third of the way. So I'm just going to join my lines. And then you can see we are a little bit away from this line. So our final line might be just a little bit. It's really hard to show in just such a small scale, but a little bit, a third of the way. Didn't even do it very well, but a third of the way towards this middle X. Usually you get a far more distinct option than that. Let's look at these last 2 options. So from left to right. 1, 2, 3, my middle one must be my second piece of data, going this way, and from bottom to top, my middle one is going to be right on that dot. So here is my X. Now this is one of the really hard topics for people, so I understand if, even after these last 2 you're still finding it struggling, that's fine. I'm really happy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, here's my middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere between 2 and 3. Now you can see these 2 are pretty much in line and these 2 are pretty much in line. So it didn't really matter if we had to choose which 2 we picked. So 1, 2 or 1, 2, it doesn't matter. They're the same height. It won't affect our result. An X, 1, 2, 3, my middle piece. 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3. So somewhere on the second one of these second ones. That's why it didn't matter, the line stayed the same height anyway. And this one's the first one we've actually got on a dot, on a piece of data. There you go. Now let's rule our line between the 2 outside X's. Fantastic. And again, we just need to move a little bit of the way towards that middle X, a third of the way towards our middle X. Beautiful. So you can see I've moved off these X's and I've moved a third of the way, pushed it a third of the way to this middle X. Last but certainly not least, 1, 2, 3, and bottom, well, one of these is the bottom, then that's the second one there, and the third one's up here. So we're moving up this way. So somewhere in line with one of these 2. And again, we've got one on the actual data dot. That happens fairly often. And then there's only 2 in the middle, so halfway between these 2 and halfway between these 2. And then finally, from left to right, there's our middle, and then our middle up this way will be in line with this dot here. And join our lines. And move a third of the way to our middle X. Now, it's often hard to move a third. You end up moving a half or 3/4 most of the time. We do our best. That's really just what they're looking for, the idea that you've shown it. I reckon that's pretty much it. That's our 3 median line. So just to clarify, this first one before we shifted it is not our 3 median line. Once we've finally finished shifting it all the way, finished the last step, that's our 3 median line.